Rewind, I'm Megan McDonald. We are halfway through conference season, and man, anything can happen. It's all about who shows up that night. With that being said, let's take a look at what went down over the weekend. Starting on the men's side, Seattle U traveled down to Phoenix to take on Grand Canyon, who is undefeated heading into this weekend and first in the conference standings. First half, Matt Jackson, corner three, good. Jared Martin kicks it out to Josh Braun, three-pointer. Braun, again, this time in the paint for the Lopes for the early 8-2 lead. 10:25 in the first, Braun driving, pass to Keontae Vernon for the massive dunk. GCU heads into half with a 7-point lead. Second half, almost 12 minutes to play, Seattle U down by 5. Brendan Westendorf puts it up, no good. Jack Crook grabs the board for the Redhawks. Westendorf jumper, and then Emmanuel Chibagu to Manroop Claire for the three to give the Redhawks a 55-49 advantage. A little over a minute to play, Lopes down by 3. Braun from the corner to tie it up, good. GCU's bench all sorts of pumped up. 6 seconds left, Westendorf driving to the length of the court, puts it up, no good. Chibagu taps it in to go up by 2. 4 seconds on the clock, GCU's final shot, and there it is. The 12-game winning streak is over. Seattle U wins it 59-57. Chicago State on the road at UMKC will pick things up in the second half. Brews up by 8, Kyle Stewart to Grant Leach for the 3. Later in the half, Martez Harrison driving in the lane kicks it out to Leach for another 3 to go up by 14. 7:20 remaining, Lavelle Boyd puts it up, another 3 for him. He had 22 points on the day, and the Roos would go on to win 78-64, shooting nearly 46% from behind the arc. Take a look at the conference standings. Grand Canyon falling into a first-place tie, even with that loss to Seattle U. The Lopes 19-3 overall. Not one school in the country has more than 19 wins this season. New Mexico State right up there with them. Both teams are 6-1 in WAC play. CSU Bakersfield comes in at number 3 at 5-2. Seattle U, Utah Valley, and UMKC go 4-5-6, while UTRGV and Chicago State round out the standings. Moving right along to the women's side, it was a number 1 and number 2 showdown. The Aggies first place in the conference standings versus UTRGV, who is second heading into the weekend. New Mexico State undefeated in WAC play, while UTRGV has only dropped 1 WAC game. 5:30 left in the first quarter. Aggies up 2. Sasha Weber from way downtown to increase the lead to 5 on the Vaqueros. Under 9 minutes in the first half, Brianna Freeman hits a jumper to go up by 9. Weber and Freeman combined for a total of 35 points on the day, and there's Freeman one more time, and the Aggies went on to win 68-57. Moving right along, CSU Bakersfield hosting Grand Canyon, picking things up in the third quarter, all tied up at 29. Jessica Gajewski hits a 3-pointer for a Lopes lead. 5 minutes left in the third, Courtney Hayes steal, drives down the court for the layup, and GCU goes up by 9. A minute 30 left in the third quarter, Bakersfield trails by 7. Dana Jones with a layup. Fourth quarter, another Hayes steal, and Grand Canyon goes on to win it 61-51. Keeping things going, Chicago State at UMKC. The Roos held a 4-point lead with 19 seconds left in regulation, but Chicago State's Jasmine Sanders hit a pair of free throws, and Kaylee Allen sent the game into OT after blocking Kiana Law with 9 seconds on the clock and converted a layup as time expired. Cougars and Roos tied at 65 with 34 seconds remaining before a buzzer beater layup was waved off, so they headed into a second overtime. Chicago State outscored UMKC in the final period by a 12-7 margin, holding on down the stretch by hitting 3 of its final free throws for the win and the upset on the road. New Mexico State now the only team in both men's and women's basketball who is still perfect in conference play. The Aggies at the top 7-0, UTRGV in second place, and Grand Canyon rounds out the top 3. 3 schools tied for 4th place with a WAC record of 4-3. That's Utah Valley, Seattle U, and Bakersfield, while UMKC is 7th and Chicago State in 8th. Halfway through conference play, we are getting closer and closer to the WAC tournament in Las Vegas, so take a look at who stood out the most in this week's Player of the Week. Starting with the guys, Seattle U's Brendan Westendorf takes home this week's award. The junior guard averaged 17 points on 52% shooting this weekend as the Redhawks picked up those 2 road wins against Utah Valley and then undefeated Grand Canyon in the last seconds. On Thursday, Westendorf tied his season high with 20 points on 7 of 13 shooting from the field. Over on the women's side, the Player of the Week goes to Grand Canyon's Dana Jones. The senior forward led the Lopes to their first weekend road sweep of the season, averaging 19 points a game, 7 boards, and 1.5 assists per game. Jones scored 25 points to go along with 7 rebounds in the win at Seattle U. can watch live games on the WAC Digital Network at wacsports.com/live. For more information, check us out at wacsports.com or follow us on Twitter and Facebook.